Welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. Today we're jumping into part 2 from a lockup facility in Orlando, Florida. Yesterday I showed the booking side of things, what happens to the majority of people going through their first days in jail, and I'll leave that linked in the comment section in case you want to run it back. But today we're jumping into general population. This is where everybody goes first, and then usually if they get any kind of enemies or get in trouble or just get scared, then they'll leave general population, go to the SEG unit or protective custody. But this is where it all begins. So if you enjoy this type of content, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out the playlist with over 1,300 videos for you to start watching today. Alright, now I don't know if y'all noticed, but the audio might sound a little bit different than it usually does, because the other day I accidentally reset all my settings and now I don't remember what the hell they were. Just a FYI if you hear some weird reverb or something here and there.
The strong survive here and the weak die.
This is Bill. He served 28 years in prison for murder. And this guy right here, his name is Keith. He's serving over 40 years in prison for a multitude of felonies.
I'll probably either get stabbed by somebody or I'll have to stab somebody.
And this is the sergeant of the areas we're going to be walking through today. She has command of over 200 officers.
My morning routine consists primarily of getting mentally prepared to go to work. I generally at work, I don't want to bring any issues with me to work that aren't appropriate to help me do my job. So I kind of like do a little mental meditation. And the hardest part about my job is always being able to be prepared, mentally and physically, to respond. Most of the time I don't have to respond physically, get into a physical altercation.
Just show us the cell
But it's the
block.
possibility and the stress of knowing at any moment something could happen.
You signed up for this, ma'am.
That keeps your stress level high, and you always have to be alert.
So I'm guessing this guy's coming into intake because he still has the street clothes on, but they're saying that he assaulted a guard. They're gonna search him completely, check him for weapons all the way down to the bottoms of his feet. They laid him on this thing that looks like a padded incline bench. Never seen it before, but I guess it helps him with the shakedowns.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Can I talk to somebody? Talk?
Take your
Mom.
hands up your head. Stay like that until the door shuts. Now the door closes.
Seemed pretty peaceful.
I'm
Sorry.
filming to have a record of this incident. In case force was used, it would be used as evidence. And something we can review to see exactly what happened.
What you're going to see this morning is a newer style jail. We've progressed from the linear style jail, which is bars, into a podular setting.
So I'm used to pods like this, believe it or not, and yeah, in the jail that I was in, they called it the new side. But me personally, I didn't like these pods because, the guards had complete control. They got cameras everywhere, and back in the day when I was there, they had guards inside the pod, 24/7. Now they got removed since someone got attacked, but you get no privacy for real. You're surrounded by more people. I remember one time I said, I'm not locking down. You're gonna have to get the lieutenant down here. So they did. I told the lieutenant what was up. Look, I've been to prison already, man. I can't live in this kind of environment. You gotta put me down in the old part of the jail. And he did. Packed me up. I went down there and enjoyed the rest of my time in that jail. Not to mention some of these new pods, they'll make you wake up at a certain time, come out in the day room. You can't go back into your room or take a nap or do anything until past a certain time. It keeps people from sleeping too much. They do have a lockdown area in the new side, but usually if you keep getting in trouble, they put you in the old part, at least from what I've experienced. And that's usually called the dungeon, and there ain't that many cameras, and it's only the strong survive. I used to roll up the shower curtain, grab the electrical cord to the TV and plug it into the wall so the whole block could get some TV action all night long.
And we have podular units surrounding the control room. And you have, in these pods, you have everywhere from general population to some pods have lockdown inmates. I'm going to take you inside the control room. That's kind of like the heart of this floor in this building. Hello. Our supervision here, we use cameras, and we can see in all the units. The officers don't have a large amount of interaction inside the units with the inmates. They do mostly from here or through what they call the beanhole.
So this is a little layout of what she's speaking on. The guards sit in the center and they can patrol these little tubes right here. They go between each housing unit to the main corridor, and that's where they feed the people, give them their medicine, and take request forms, anything that they might need from the CO.
Come to the door, please, for an attorney interview. Thank you.
And this is another thing I seen, is her speaking through the intercoms to the inmates. Some people, when I told them about an emergency button with the intercom in the cells, thought I was crazy, but that is actually a thing. Matter of fact, there was this one CO, he would come in on the weekends and play slow jams through the intercom. Man, oh man, Jody, you better not be around my girl tonight. And you know what the majority of it was? R. Kelly. Intercoms can be good though. Like I said, in case of emergency, you're about to die, press that puppy. Some places people are really pressing that button 24/7, just annoying the guards, so that emergency might just go unseen.
We do go inside the units if there's problems, if somebody needs attention for different inspections, etc., or if we just need to talk to somebody. Staffing is always a consideration, but our population is a consideration too, and population escalates, population de-escalates. So, but we have great control.
Now this is exactly what I was talking about. They say they have 0 blind spots in this pod. And this is what blew my mind. Even in the showers and the toilets, I had no idea you're allowed to have cameras in there. I gotta look into that, but yeah, I'd definitely be going to the old side with all that footage on me. Now they're walking down the highest security cell block in this floor with 2-man cells. The cages, for real, you got 2 walls that are pretty much completely plexiglass. 2-man to a cell with about 10 square feet. The lights stay on 24/7, day and night. I only had the chance to experience this once out of all the facilities I've been to. I can't even begin to explain the kind of, you wouldn't think torture, but it is, of having a light on 24/7, especially those kind of lights. When I walked out, I had about 3 leaves growing off my back.
When they conduct their visuals, it kind of deters the inmates from doing what they aren't supposed to do. They do a great job, and for the most part, we don't have that. We don't get into situations like sexual assaults.
A lot of people think that that's just a myth. It's not a myth. It's still happening to this day. And I like to think that this is one of the first channels that brought that reality to y'all's attention. Now, like a majority of prisons and jails across the country, the violence can be pretty high. And more times than none, it's usually some kind of gang-related situation, and this guy right here is the anti-gang unit officer. He's about to show us his collection of shanks that he's been collecting throughout the years.
This is a homemade shank. What they call a shank is a makeshift knife we call shanks here. This is from broom handle. Someone broke a broom handle, took some of their linen, tied it up, and so they wrote they'll kill you. I know also from this shank right here that someone from either the rival gang like Folk Nation or Gang Disciples got a little pitchfork right there. So I know kind of what group made this weapon just by looking at it. Yeah, it looks pretty primitive, but in a prison, this could do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He's probably right here trying to make a handle, which I have other ones where they tie around their hands, so they start stabbing someone, they don't lose it. The blood don't make you lose it.
Broomsticks could be a very good weapon, but at the same time, they're always searching for them. Usually if a broom comes up missing or a squeegee, something like that, they'll lock down the whole pod. If I remember correctly, I think they count them out at the end of the night, maybe right in the morning when everyone's done cleaning as well. I can't really remember, but yeah, it's hard to get a broomstick. As a matter of fact, I was in a jail where it was damn near impossible to get a shank. Impossible. I mean, let alone anything. This place was completely secure.
Here's another weapon right here. This is nothing. This is a lock and a sock. You probably hear about it all the time.
Nothing. That thing's treacherous.
This is a lock and a sock. That's all it is.
I see many guys get knocked clean out.
Someone in the head with it again. Stick. You can do damage hitting someone in the head with this.
Yeah, walking the track, knock them clean out.
The last major officer injury actually was me 2 months ago in a big use of force. Me and 2 SRT sergeants. And inmate didn't want to go back in his cell. He started throwing chairs around. Sergeant got hurt. I jumped in. Guy's 20 years younger than me and a lot bigger, so we were scrapping until we got some help there. Me and 2 sergeants him, but it was a pretty good fight.
Young Buckaroony dish-ragged him, in other words. It's alright, buddy. We all got dishwashed once in our life. Now this lady's the LT, or the lieutenant, and she has control of the gang unit task force, and today they got a tip that a cell phone is inside the cell block. Believe it or not, a lot of inmates will snitch on someone if they know they got a cell phone. Way more snitching in jail and prison than I've ever seen in the streets. Let that sit in. And for many establishments it might be a normality, but for others, just one cell phone in their jail is a high security risk, and they're gonna go as hard as they can to try to find it. That's what they're about to do, lock down the block and start a shakedown.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna strip these guys out. You guys, the males, go ahead and strip them out in the back. We'll stand by and do security up front and make sure we manage them up front, okay?
But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for part 3. Believe it or not, these videos take some time to create. Just a little 10 minutes. But as always, I salute every last one who's been supporting me since the beginning, and everybody who's just now joining the lockdown compound. Y'all be safe and stay free.